Hey, what's up, guys? Tuki here, back again with another episode of my Ottawa Senators franchise mode series right here on NHL 18. And today, well, we wrap up Season 2 with the Sens. The question is, will we be a playoff team at the end of this season? We currently find ourselves in the 8th seed, the second wildcard spot, with 19 games to go. It's going to be close. We have a very, very busy month ahead of us. So let's get right to it. Although I will say, the comment section of the last episode kind of played out the way I wanted it to, in terms of having that discussion come up again of quote-unquote realism against non-realistic series. I kind of wanted that to happen because it kind of helps prove my point that when I said at the start of this series that I want to just do what I feel is best for the series and makes it more entertaining, sometimes it might be realistic, sometimes it might not be. There was not a set tone for this series because there simply can't be. You can't please everybody. Some people want realistic, some people don't. Some people, if you're going realistic and you do a move that's unrealistic to them, they're like, oh, well, this series is ruined because that would never happen. And then in which case I have to respond with the Tyler Seguin trade would be totally unrealistic. You get the point. But that conversation happened as I wanted it to happen. I've responded to a decent amount of you in that comment section just to kind of contain that discussion there because I don't want it taking over this episode. We're moving on. Again, we are in the middle of a playoff race. Let's get down to business as we're getting ready to play the Rangers, and Thomas Chabot is healthy. Although that does bring up the point in terms of one of the comments mentioning the micromanagement of the rosters, which I agree with. Although in this case, obviously for this series, it's a side effect of me having injuries on, which is a decision that was made by you guys. Mainly, you said you wanted injuries on. So obviously there's going to be a little bit more, if not a bit more micromanaging. That's just how it goes when there are injuries. I mean, do I go a little bit overboard with the AHL and making sure that all of our prospects are getting the better ice time? Sure. But again, when we're so early in a series and so much of our success depends on our prospects' progression, I'm going to take that little bit of extra time to do it. Could I cut out that part of the episode and save 30 seconds? Sure. Jesus Christ, Ryan Zingle, thank you for getting hurt. We do have Burrows, though, that I'm just going to put right in there. Yeah, I could save a little bit of time with a little bit of editing. I got to be honest, though, I handle my series the way I do because way back in NHL 16, we had a lot of success with Vancouver. And that immediately brought out the, man, you must be scripting these videos. And it's like, no, I'm not. But here, let me prove it by having very minimalistic cuts unless I have to, like if the dog starts barking at stuff. Although I've left that in the episode before, just to prove my point. I handle my series the way I do for a reason, is all I can say. If it's not your cup of tea, that's cool. I respect that. But at the end of the day, I gotta do what I gotta do. I gotta be comfortable with the episodes I'm putting up there. And, yeah, that's it. So, enough of that. Enough of that. The only reason I even touched upon that is because Thomas Chabot came back. But it was one of the things that was mentioned. Again, I'm not being defensive over it. I'm just simply responding. Like I said, the whole point of me dropping those breadcrumbs, just to prove my point that you can't please everybody. We're done. We're focused. 39, 30, and 8 this month hasn't exactly gone the way I would have preferred. So hoping we'd have a few more wins at this point. I am going to sim the last 2 games of March against Washington and New York. That'll bring us to April 1st. We only have 5 games left this season. You know what? For that reason, let's actually take a look here. 5 games left on the season. We currently find ourselves well outside of the playoff structure. The Devils are in at 89 points. So 89 points is the lowest amount right now. We are 1 point off the pace of the New Jersey Devils. So we're not out of it, but I would say at the very least it's going to take 4 out of 5. 3-1-1 is probably the worst record we could get away with having. So this episode, it was up in the air. Was it going to be a playoff episode? Was it going to be a draft episode? Right now, it's looking like it might be a draft episode, particularly because we have a tough matchup against the 43-win Caps. The Islanders are a bad team. That's a must-win game. Chicago's a bad team. That's a must-win game. Florida at 44 wins, Boston at 45. We have some very tough matchups. But if you want to make the postseason, you got to win some very tough matchups around this point in time. And you can see the middle to end of this month now. At this point, we have lost 5 out of our last... Actually, we've lost 6 out of our last 7. If you look beyond the 14th, Jesus, this is rough. We've already lost to Washington twice this month, 1 point out of a possible 4. We are going to go in-depth with this sim just to see if we can turn things around. Can we get the win? Will this sim method be a bit more kind to us than the other? First period, and that's a hell of a start. Thomas Chabot with 2 goals. Second period, oh my god, I am simming the final 4 games like this. Kevin Fiala and Matt Duchene. TJ Oshie breaks the shutout. Duchene and Chabot with the hat trick. 6-1 final for your Sens. And we still have life. 4-point night for Chabot with the hat trick. 4-point night for Duchene. 35 saves for Mike Condon. Not too bad. I will say, oh, Jesus. I was going to say Condon hasn't done too poorly, and then someone pointed out his win record in the comments, and I was more talking about his save percentage. Erik Karlsson's out for the rest of the season. This is going to be a draft video. That's the only way to put it. Erik Karlsson is out for the rest of the postseason, or for the rest of the regular season. He's not back unless we make the postseason, and I simply do not see how that happens. I just don't. So it's looking like that's going to be all she wrote. Let's get Hlapik back into the lineup. Wow. Talk about the worst case scenario. The fact that we actually still dominated Washington despite Karlsson going down to injury in that game is mind-boggling. We will be playing the 30-win Islanders coming up. Of course, on so many occasions in these sims, it's come down to the final day of the season. We're not going to catch Florida. Washington has the other playoff spot at 89 points. We are in this, no doubt about it. But again, we have to win the majority of our games. 4 games left. 3 wins would give us very, very good odds. Let's see what happens here at home against John Tavares and the New York Islanders. First period is scoreless. Second period is not. Brock Nelson and Andrew Ladd getting 2 goals. We started Condon again. Third period, and there's a comeback in the books. Kevin Fiala and Colin White, the 2 goals on Grice, and we at least get a point from this game. That is gigantic. The question is, can we get the second point? I'm just going to hit the A button here. Can we win the game? Yes, we can. Zach Smith with 1:07 to go in the overtime, although the clock says 1:06. So who knows? Zach Smith scores with just over a minute left. What a comeback by this team. I punched my desk, and damn it hurts so good. Mike Condon, back-to-back starts, 35 saves. Thomas Chabot, a 2-assist night. And Zach Smith with the OT winner. That is now back-to-back wins, ladies and gentlemen, as we enter the month of April. Feeling pretty good. A gigantic win against Washington, who are in the same race that we are for that 8th seed, and a gigantic comeback win against a non-playoff team in the form of the New York Islanders. We are on 90 points with 3 games left. Washington 1 point above. So that win over Washington was gigantic, but they are still 1 point ahead of us. Buffalo are in the playoff race. Carolina is also still in the race. Unfortunately, we have to play Boston and Florida coming up, but that could be very, very beneficial. That could be very beneficial, don't you know? That could be very beneficial if we can win those games. We have another game here before that, though, against the 33-41-4 Chicago Blackhawks. And again, I am sticking with this sim method. This might as well be the playoffs right here if we fall short. First period against Chicago is scoreless. Second period is not. Cody Ceci has the lone goal of the game thus far. We take the lead into the third period. Can we hold on for the win? We cannot, at least in regulation. Alex Chiasson scores with 1:32 left. We do get the pity point, which is gigantic. But do we have another overtime win in us? We do not. Artem Anisimov with 47 seconds to go. we drop what could be a crucial point to the Chicago Blackhawks. Not good. I'll take the pity point. We at least have a point streak going. But these are now 2 must-win games against 2 playoff teams, the Florida Panthers and the Boston Bruins. If we are going to make the postseason, we are going to earn it. However, we are currently in the playoffs. 91 points in 80 games. We have passed the New Jersey Devils via tiebreaker. Washington are now in 3rd in the Metro. We have to win. Win and we're in. But can we do it without Erik Karlsson? We're in Florida and in Boston to end the season. Let's do this against the Florida Panthers. Here we go. In a must-win game. First period is scoreless. Second period is not. Mark Stone gets the goal on Luongo, so we are in the same situation that we were in the previous game against Chicago, taking a 1-0 lead into the third period. Can we hold on and get the win? For the love of God, at least get a point, get to overtime, and the Ottawa Senators, Thomas Chabot and Zach Smith with the goals, both players stepping up big time in this playoff push. 3-0 shutout for your Sens, and we are potentially just 1 point, maybe 1 game if we get both points. I don't know. It comes down to the last day of the season. Again, 33 save for Craig Anderson, and Thomas Chabot is stepping up in such a major way before Karlsson got hurt, but now especially after Karlsson, just especially after Karlsson went down to injury, and that sets it up. Ottawa and Boston, final day of the season. What do the standings look like? Though we are in, baby. Oh, we made it. We're fighting for seeding. Washington, we have the tiebreaker on them, so even if they win, we have them. That is incredible. Fewer losses is the tiebreaker. The Caps were in 3rd. They blew it. The Devils will make the playoffs. Right now, we are battling... we're battling Florida, so we're locked in as the 8th seed. It's going to be us and either Tampa or Toronto in the first round. Doesn't really matter who. We're the 8th seed regardless, so we'll sim past this matchup against the Bruins, and it is a 4-2 win. So a good run to end the season. We are playoff bound. That is incredible. The question is, how soon will Erik Karlsson be back? How quickly will he be at 100%? But let's do a quick little season wrap-up. Mike Hoffman, 21 goals, 37 assists. So I'm a little bit disappointed in his production. Again, I prefer my top-line guys to be as close to a point a game as possible. He's not quite there. We know he's capable of more. That's a disappointing season for Hoffman. Matt Duchene, 16 goals, 49 assists. His best point total to date as a member of this team. I'm happy with that. Way to go, Mr. Duchene. Mark Stone, 22 goals, 38 assists, 60 points. His highest point total since we have started this run. Did I call this Season 3 earlier, by the way? I think I called this Season 3 earlier. It's Season 2. What am I talking about? I think I called it Season 3 earlier. I'm getting it confused. This is what happens when I record episodes back-to-back. Yeah, I think I called it Season 3 earlier. I might have. Or maybe I didn't. I'm losing my mind. Mark Stone did well, though. Kevin Fiala, one of our big RFA signings, 29 goals, 35 assists, 64 points. Some of you might not have liked the signing. Hey, it made the team better. It really did. Pajot, 9 goals, 28 assists. Now, he didn't have power play time for a decent portion of this season. That is his best point total in the past 3 years, and of course, in the 2 seasons since we have started here. So I'm all right with that. It's obvious he's not our number 2 center moving forward. Hopefully, Logan Brown is ready for that second line spot next year. Bobby Ryan, 14 goals and 31 assists. A decent enough return to form for him. Again, for second liners, 40 to 50 points. I'm good with that. So Bobby Ryan, well done. Third liners, try to hope for 30, 20 to 30. And then fourth liners, the closer to 20 you are, the better. We'll take a look here. Hlopik, 9 goals and 18 assists. He played 34 games last year, but this year is his first full year at the NHL level. I'm good with that, the 27-point mark. Logan Brown, 12 goals and 26 helpers. His second year in the NHL. He improved upon that. And Colin White hit 20 goals, also had 12 assists, 32 points in his first full year at the NHL level. So I'm happy with that third line. Ryan Dzingel, 11 goals, 20 assists. Of course, last year he played on the second line, only had 20 points. This year, 31. So go figure. Zach Smith had a couple of big goals down the stretch, finished with 15 assists for 32 points. And that brings us to Nick Paul, who we kept. He hit 20 points in his first full season at the NHL level. So for the most part, I'm feeling pretty good about it. Thomas Chabot, 11 goals, 12 assists. Brandon Montour, 6 goals and 27 helpers. That is a new career high. So both free agent acquisitions, I mean, they really helped this team out. Let's be honest. Christian Wolanin, 9 goals, 7 assists, 8 goals and 6 helpers for CC. Clayson with 6 points and 3 points for Borowiecki in his time this season. Craig Anderson at 37 years old, a .920 save percentage, 33 wins at .239 GAA with 8 shutouts. And Mike Condon, only 10 wins, a .909 save percentage, but he showed up in a very big way. Obviously, I'm not really happy with those numbers. Those are just kind of meh. I mean, we could certainly get better from our backup, but he did come up with 2 very, very big wins down the stretch against both the Islanders and the Capitals. You get a look at Erik Karlsson, who may have been on pace for 70. He gets 20 goals this season, and that's the big question as far as our playoff hopes go. Can he come back in a quick enough manner? Is he going to be 100%? I'm not going to play him unless he's 100%. How soon will he be ready? The projected time was April 17th. If he doesn't come back before that, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. And yes, Alex Burrows, in a short amount of time with the team this season, did quite well. As far as the AHL goes, we'll actually just take a look at the full stats from the player stats page, which is actually what we're going to go and look at. We'll take a look at the standings here. First, though, just to get that season wrap-up underway, so Tampa takes the Atlantic. The Metro goes to the Rangers. Pittsburgh and New Jersey also make the playoffs. Dallas takes the Central, and the Pacific goes to Anaheim. Throughout the entire league, the President's Trophy winning team would have been Tampa, based off of tiebreaker, regulation, plus overtime wins. As far as the worst team in the league, the New York Islanders. And we almost lost to them, so that would have been a pretty bad sign. The best offense in the league belongs to the Pittsburgh Penguins. We, though, are third highest scoring team in the league, and there's a pretty good separation between us and Boston. It's only 10 goals, but still, I will take it. Goals against per game looks to be mid-table. It was, what, a 2.6? Our power play is top 10 in the league at 20.7%. The penalty kill at a 78 is one of the worst in the league, so we're going to have to take a look at that as we enter the playoffs on a 5-4-1 stretch. It certainly was worse prior to the last week and a half of the season. So let's go ahead and take a look league-wide before, again, getting that confirmation of who we're playing in the first round, and without a doubt, editing the penalty kill. Ilya Kovalchuk led the league in points with 92, 59 goals for the 35-year-old. That is ridiculous. Of course, he signed with the Rangers. You have Stamkos and Kucherov up there. Pavel Buchnevich, and without a doubt, playing with Kovalchuk. So that makes quite a bit of sense. Laine was up there as well. Daniel Sedin, not yet retired, played very well alongside Brock Besser. Put up 34 goals on his own, by the way, which is pretty damn crazy. Kovalchuk obviously led the league in points, or in goals, I should say. Ovechkin at 48, and only 2 others broke the 40-goal mark, that being Laine and Sagan. And yes, indeed, you have Henrik Borgstrom up there as well. The assist king, shocker. I mean, again, playing with Kovalchuk. The plus-minus king, Hampus Lindholm and Cam Fowler were the top 2. Dan Hamhuis, you're an embarrassment. The penalty minute king, for the hell of it, is Curtis McDermott of the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. So he didn't even play a full season. He's down in the AHL, and he was still the penalty minute king. What's up with that? Kovalchuk and Laine with 17 power play goals each. Shorthanded goal king, Colin White, Vladimir Sobotka, Daniel Winnick, and Frankie Vetrano. Game-winning goals goes to Tyler Seguin. The Iron Man of the league is Oliver Ekman-Larsson, just beating out Colin Miller and Nick Leddy. The face-off king, why am I looking at these? Because I feel like it, fool! Jonathan Taves, your face-off king. The hit king, Nikita Zadorov, the block shot king. Sammy Vatanen by 1 over Nick Leddy. Most giveaways went to Braden McNabb. The most takeaways went to Patrice Bergeron, and it was not even close. The fight king was McDermott. So he didn't play much, but holy hell, did he fight while he had ice time. So we got to look at the rookie scoring since it actually matters this year, and it was a close race. Borgstrom at 58, Pedersen at 57, Hosang at 52, Tolvanen was up there, Jost, Evgeny Svechnikov, Casey Middlestat, Brady Tkachuk. What a rookie class that proved to be. And I don't think you'll have any goaltending nominees, but, you know, a couple of rookies got some playing time. Carter Hart, never mind, is up to an 87 already. Huh. Well, I know that Flyers fans in real life are certainly hoping that he develops that quickly, right? I think that's the case. In the AHL, just to get a look at the league-wide scoring, Reed Boucher and Devontae Smith-Pelly were up there. I really, though, only care about the Belleville Sens. Kravtsov and Batherson, 61 points each, and Tyrone, 46 points this season. I do want to take a look at how Gustafsson and Sandstrom did, and the answer is not well. Again, I don't believe they're making the playoffs based on their record, so it was at least worth taking a look. So all we got to do now, again, is get that confirmation of who we are playing in round 1. We are absolutely simming that round 1 matchup in this episode. Just give me that confirmation. We know who it is. We know it's Tampa. I just want to see the matchup screen. Show me Tampa. Please, just put me out of my misery. There we go. Ottawa and Tampa in round 1. The one thing we have to do is set up the penalty kill. And believe it or not, I know, I actually made a jump cut. See, I listen occasionally. You're right, I saved us 30 seconds, but I did. Those 30 seconds you would have never had back. Okay, now I'm being a little bit of a dick. I'm sorry, okay? But there you go. The penalty kill has been fixed. It was pretty rough before, as you saw, so it made sense to do it. Let's take a look at this Lightning squad that's about to kick our ass if I don't hit the wrong button a second time. I just might. Just you wait. Drum roll, please. Will he hit the wrong button again? No, we won't. There was a bit of menu lag there. That was kind of weird. We got through it, though. Let's take a look at the Tampa Bay Lightning. Palat, Stamkos, and Kucherov, the top line. Killorn, Point, and Tyler Johnson. Kunitz, Gord, and Callahan. Ernie, Miller, and Cedric Paquette. It's basically the same. On defense, Hedman, McDonough, Sergachev, Strawman, Slater, Cuckoo, and Dan Girardi, the goaltenders. Hello, Nurse, Louis Domingue, and Connor Ingram. Andre Vasilevsky is out. Sorelli, Coburn, and Dotchin are all scratches. No Andre Vasilevsky. Also, with the way I just phrased that, it made it sound like I find Louis Domingue attractive. Maybe I do. You got a problem with it? Former Portland Pirate, if I'm not mistaken, Louis Domingue. And if he isn't, then damn it, who cares? Erik Karlsson still out with a neck strain. What we need to take a look at is Vasilevsky, who is also out for about the same amount of time. Out until April 14th with a swollen knee. But that may just be enough time for us to take advantage of the Lightning having to run with Louis Domingue and Connor Ingram as their 1-2 punch. If we ever had a chance to win this series, it's right now. At least with these first 2 games, Vasi should not be back in time for. So let's do this. It's game 1 on the road in Tampa. Let's do this. What can we do? First period, as the Lightning get the opening goal. It's Andre Palat. No real surprise there. It's their offense against ours, really. I'm not expecting them to have great goaltending, and I'm not expecting our defense to be able to withstand the onslaught. So we'll see what breaks first. And at least in the first period, it was our goaltending and defense that broke. First period is over. Second period is also over. We were down 4-0. Yanni Gord, Stamkos, and Braden Point Under 7 minutes into the second period, they were up 4-0. We start to battle back, though. Just over a minute later, Mark Stone with the goal. Logan Brown gets another. It's a 4-2 Lightning lead in Game 1 and make it 5. Mike Condon now between the pipes. He gives up a goal against Kucherov 34 seconds into the period. We are in a lot of trouble, and this is looking very similar to what happened to New Jersey, and now it's worse. 6-2, Kucherov with another goal. We have a power play opportunity that we cannot do anything with, and despite them not having Andrei Vasilevsky between the pipes, we can only muster 2 goals on 37 shots. We outshot them, but they put up 6 goals on 29. Our defense and goaltending could simply not handle the offensive firepower, particularly from their top line. 4 points for both Kucherov and Stamkos, a 3-point night for the third member of that top line, Ondrej Palat. And we are indeed in quite a bit of trouble. I don't know if Vasilevsky will be back for Game 2. I got to admit, I don't know if it matters. Let's see what happens. I don't know why Fiala's taking a face-off against JT Miller, but okay, game. Whatever you say. First period of Game 2. Can we get off to a better start? And that is much better, at least in terms of not giving up a goal. We were outshot 14-5, which is not ideal, I'd say. Is that a fair assessment? Not ideal to be outshot 14-5 in the first period. At least we're not losing yet. Second period, we're still not losing. Andrei Vasilevsky is back. He's definitely not at 100%, but Bobby Ryan has the only goal of this game thus far, despite us being outshot 29-11. So thank you, Bobby Ryan, for showing up in the playoffs yet again. The question is, can we find some defensive support? Maybe even the best defense to good offense. Do something. Stop that. Just stop the blood. We're bleeding out here, Ondrej Palat. First shot of the third period. This is a tie ball game. I know it's not a ball game. It's a stick and puck kind of game. Kucherov scores. Hlopik gets it right back. We are tied up at 2 despite getting destroyed in terms of shots. We couldn't capitalize on that power play. There's 3 minutes left. Are we going to overtime here in Game 2? Why, yes. Yes, we are. So Palat scores early to tie it. Kucherov gives them the lead, but just under a minute later, Philip Hlopik with the goal. We're all tied up. It's overtime in Game 2. They're out shooting us 40-21. Can we manage to overcome an injured Andrei Vasilevsky to win a game on the road to begin the series? Let's find out. Will it end quickly? Yes, it will. Bobby Ryan delivers in overtime. He did so well last year. I'm sorry, Sens fans, the real Sens fans, to have to, talk about what happened last year with how well Bobby Ryan did in the playoffs, particularly against the Bruins, compared to what they're doing right now in real life. But this series is supposed to make you feel better, and I'm sure I'm not doing that right now. Point is, Bobby Ryan delivers in the playoffs yet again. The Ottawa Senators have pulled off an upset. Just winning a game in this series is an accomplishment. Give Craig Anderson a raise. Please don't. I can't afford it. But give Craig Anderson a raise. .950 save percentage. The 2 goals from Ryan Palat. Once again, the 3rd star. But somehow, some way, thanks to the iron will of Craig Anderson, we have tied this series up. We rebound from a 6-2 loss. It's a 3-2 victory in Game 2. Now, unfortunately, we still won't have Erik Karlsson for Game 3. But we can't delay. Let's get this show on the road. There's no lineup changes to make, really. We might take a look after this game. But playoff hockey is back in Ottawa. Game 3. Let's see what we can do. First period, and Tampa strikes. It's Tyler Johnson. That's unfortunate. We actually outshot them 13-8. Whenever we outshoot them, we lose. So start hemorrhaging shots again. Second period, and that's okay. Kevin Fiala ties it. Alex Killorn restores the lead. And then Colin White with the goal. We are dead even. 2 goals each. 22 shots apiece. Comes down to this third period. Let's do this. Don't know what to expect here. Early power play chance is wasted. Tampa has a little bit of time before it evens back out. Colin White stepping up in a big-time way here in Game 3. We have a 3-2 lead. And Ondrej Palat, that pesky Palat, scores 5 minutes to go. We're tied up at 3. The next goal will win this game. And for the, I thought there was going to be a late goal there, for the second straight game, we're going to overtime. Before it was 2-2, now it is 3-3 heading into overtime. The Tougie overtime challenge, I'm going to say, it's going to be Zach Smith for us, or it's going to be Cedric Paquette. I think one of the role players will get the job done here. Overtime. Here in Game 3. Can we get the win? Will there be an early goal? Power play chance here for us that we cannot take advantage of. We're halfway through the overtime. Potentially the first overtime. Another power play opportunity. Can we capitalize? No, we cannot. And we are going to double overtime here in Game 3. I will say what I always say. Do not blink. You will miss it. This goal will happen in 5 seconds or less. 99 times out of 100. Here we go. You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, I was going to say, do you believe in miracles? Unfortunately, I don't, because we lost. Alex Killorn with the goal. Swear to God, that is who I was going to say first. I'm like, nah, Cedric Paquette, role player. Ugh. Tampa, 49 shots to 39. They get the victory here in Game 3, so we trade overtime wins. Tyler Johnson, your first star, with a 3-point night. 2 goals for Killorn, 2 goals for Colin White in the losing effort. For the love of all that is holy, can we please have Erik Karlsson back for Game 4? Thank you. Oh, God, that helps me out tremendously. Oh, do I want to go best lines here? I don't know if I do. What lines are Borowiecki in? It's going to change the power play, the penalty kill. I have to. I'm sorry. I have to. Am I going to edit this part out? No! You're stuck watching it. Moo-ha-ha-ha-ha. It'll take me 2 seconds. Calm down. As I needed to take a look at the production of some players anyway, because there is an outside chance that I am going to put Burrows in the lineup if someone is not producing. So the power play lines are set. I'm cool with CC being there. I'm actually going to take out Logan Brown, and we're going to give Pageau the chance on the second power play unit. And then as far as the penalty kill goes, let's do this. So at center, we have Brown and Smith. On the wings, we want Mark Stone and 1 Mike Hoffman. On defense, we'll have CC. Actually, we'll have Karlsson and Montour. On the left, we'll have Shabbat and Wolanin. And that way, once the penalty kill is over, it'll be Clayson and CC that come out onto the ice. So we want Wolanin here. So there we go. Penalty kill is set. As far as that goes, I just need to change Logan Brown to that spot. You know what? Why not? Why not be thorough here? Why not? Let's do it. Let's do it. So, Thomas Chabot and Christian Wolanin. So let's take a look at some numbers really quick here before Game 4. Craig Anderson, only a 905, which is very concerning. Obviously, that first game was troublesome. Game 3 was also concerning. However, Mike Condon in his 1 relief appearance in Game 1 was also miserable. So that's not really all that surprising. Mike Hoffman has not done anything. That top line's been nowhere to be found so far this series. I got to admit, I'm going to put Fiala and Ryan with Duchesne. I'm going to drop Hoffman to the second line alongside Stone with J.G. Pageau, just to see if that can change things up. The third line's doing well. The fourth line has done nothing, which means Nick Paul, I am sorry, and I can't believe I'm doing this. Alex Burrows is in with Dzingel and Smith. So there we go. A couple of changes just to try and spark something. And we'll see what happens here. Of course, we already have different line combos on defense with Erik Karlsson coming back. So it's Game 4. Obviously concerned about the goaltending. You could argue even if we had better goaltending, it wouldn't be that much of a help against this potent Tampa offense. First period of game number 4, and we get off to a good start. It's Zach Smith in that new fourth line with Burrows there, getting the opening goal. pretty much even in shots as well. Second period, and Philip Hlapek with the goal. Again, we're being outshot and we're winning. That's funny how that works. 2-0 though. The third and fourth line chipping in. Hlapek on the youth line, and Smith on the veteran, kind of physical, shutdown defensive, but still offensively capable line. I know that's we got to find a shorter name. Third period, let's go. Can we tie this series up? If we collapse here and fall down 3-1 in this series, that is it. Stick a fork in us. We're done. Let's see how this goes. Halfway through the third period, and Braden Point gets Tampa on the board. 5 minutes left. Can the Sens hold on? Yanni Gord and J.T. Miller. Stamkos with the empty netter, just a spit in my fucking soup. God. 4-2 final. 2-goal lead, the most dangerous lead in hockey. Vasilevsky, your first star with 27 saves. Stamkos with a goal. Smith with a goal. Unfortunately, that will pretty much do it. Oh, boy. And unfortunately, Belleville aren't in the playoffs, so we can't even follow along. That is tremendously unfortunate. As, again, the goaltending lets us down, which I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised, of course. We didn't go out and, instantly change the goaltending situation. We wanted to give a little bit of time to Gustafsson to see if he could develop. And obviously not having that ready-to-go prospect like a Carter Hart is kind of biting us in the ass here. I don't know who to go with for Game 2. It's like, who does honestly give us, or for Game 2, for Game 5, who honestly gives us the best chance to win, I'm almost willing to put in Gustafsson just as a cruel joke. How could he do any worse? What, are we going to lose 7-1 or 2, whatever it was? I think it was a 6-2 loss in Game 1. I'll stick with Craig Anderson. He'll go down with the ship. But that is incredibly disappointing, and you could tell that I kind of saw it coming because, again, this game plays out so similarly. I can't speak today. This game plays out the same way often. Yeah, it's late. It's 6:06 in the morning. Cut me some slack. Jesus. Game 5. Let's go. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit delusional and a little bit upset because I was hoping for a miracle. And there will not be a miracle on 34th Street this Christmas. First period of Game 5 here in Tampa. We do get the first goal. Erik Karlsson, welcome to the postseason, my friend. Thank you for showing up for this game. We were doubled up in shots, 16-8. Second period, and it's Steven Stamkos with the goal. We're all tied up heading into the third period. Our season is on the line as Mark Stone gets an early power play goal, and we have the lead. Tampa now with the power play of their own. It's an extended power play that they cannot capitalize on, and we are halfway through this third period. Now, here's the thing. I didn't expect us to make the postseason, so the fact we did, cool, even though you could argue that we needed the better draft pick. We're here, though. We might as well play spoiler, and we are going to Game 6. I was just trying to do anything I could to not focus on the actual scoreboard at all, because that just would have been bad luck. Craig Anderson did, in fact, give us the best chance to win. 37 saves in the win. A 2-point night for Karlsson, and the goal for Mark Stone. There will be one more game in Ottawa, which will make Eugene Melnyk a very happy boy because of that sweet, sweet playoff money. We're not going to make any changes to the lineup. We're just going to go for it. Game 6 on home ice. Again, no expectations to make the playoffs. This is all gravy. If it ends here, so be it. But at least we prove that we are taking steps in the right direction, kind of, even with an aging goaltender. I said aging goaltender. Get over yourself. First period is hardly scoreless. Oh my God. All right. Well, Craig, I know I called you old, but you didn't have to play like it. Ryan Callahan, 1 minute in, J.T. Miller, and then just over a minute later, Cedric Paquette. We were down 3-0. Colin White does get a goal back, though. My question, is Mike Condon between the pipes at this point in time? I do not know. Second period, Kevin Fiala gets us back into it. In a way, we held them off the scoreboard, so that's nice. Whether or not Anderson or Condon's in, they at least did their job. 20 minutes to go, potentially in our season. We're down by 1. Can we find a way back into this game? 1 goal is all it takes. Hoffman, Stone, Pajot, Bobby Ryan. You've been kind of quiet since we started this series. Somebody has to step up. Erik frickin' Karlsson, maybe. I don't know. We only got 5 minutes left, boys. Come on, somebody, anybody, save my soul. I hate you, Cedric Paquette. It's the Tampa Bay Lightning eliminate the Ottawa Senators in 6 games, and I got to admit, at the start of this series, as Condon did not let up a goal. He came in for relief of Anderson in the first period. Of course, the empty netter does not count. Mike Condon did everything he could to keep us in it, and I have to applaud him for that. But a 2-goal night from Cedric Paquette. I was apparently 1 game off, or 2 games off, from predicting when he'd get the winner. That is it. And again, at the start of the series, if you would have told me that we'd win 2 games, I probably would have been shocked, seeing as, you know, we were dealing with the absence of Erik Karlsson to begin that series. So we take a look. Kevin Fiala, point a game. Very strong effort. Matt Duchene, not so much. Oh, God, tried to hold off on that. Matt Duchene, not so much. Kind of struggled. Not really happy with it. Only took 10 shots in 6 games. I know you're a playmaker. That's unacceptable when you have the shot that you do. Bobby Ryan, 4 points. I'm good with that. I'm more disappointed in Duchene. If you want to know why we lost the series, why we didn't win this series, there you go. Mike Hoffman disappears. Pajot with 2 points. 2 goals for Mark Stone. He was a -4. Duchene, Hoffman, and Mark Stone, who carried us all season, just did not show up. Hlopik with 5 points. Hlopik had more points on his own than Pajot and Duchene. That's why we lost. 3 points for Logan Brown. 3 goals for Colin White. I'm cool with that third-line performance. And the fourth line, nothing from Dzingel. 2 points for Smith. And the 1 assist for Burrows. Underperforming players. We got shut down. Bottom line, Thomas Chabot was at least an even player with 4 assists. Karlsson, 3 points in his few games. Wolanin, 1 point. He was a -4. Brandon Montour did nothing. Clayson did nothing. And Cody Ceci was abysmal. So our team that at least looked okay in some aspects all season, the big players let us down. No doubt about it. So I'm conflicted. I'm happy to have made the postseason. Again, even though you could argue that the higher pick would have been better for this team at this point in time, just 2 seasons in. We're on the right track, but even then, the additions of Fiala and Montour, did it really help us out that much? You know, if you're one of those people who view it as a negative that I signed both of them, hey, one way or another, you were right. Because Fiala did great in the postseason. Montour did not, and at the end of the day, we fall short in the first round. Really, all we did was just screw ourselves out of 2 draft picks. At least in the short term. Now, what Fiala and Montour do for us in the future, who knows? But trying to get better quickly may have screwed us over if the rest of the team does not develop as we need them to. And that will simply mean Fiala and Montour being sold off down the road. So, improvements in some, half glass full, half glass empty. You can view it both ways, and rightfully so. We'll just have to wait and see what happens with this team moving forward. I'm not going to do the postseason recap. We'll do that in the next episode because it will also be the draft and maybe the rest of the postseason. I'm not entirely sure. We'll find out because obviously there's a lot to handle there in terms of free agency and just getting it all sorted out. Although for the most part, we have re-signed everybody. So we'll see how long the offseason takes. We'll find out. Hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm conflicted about it at this point in time. Like I said, we'll just have to wait and see what happens in the next one. I thank you guys for the support. You know what you can do to support this video, this channel, to support me and everything I do on the interwebs. I love you all. I'll see you next time.